Hey viewers, today I've got something a little bit different for you. Well, different from my channel anyway. A friend of mine's got some of this ore. It's called, would you say, gold banded ore? So I never heard of gold banded ore before. But it's weird looking stuff. And when you look through a loop, probably won't be able to see in this light. Where's the sunlight going? Just there in front of my thumb, it looks like gold across here, some at the back, some there, some there. When you look through with a loop, you can see it's definitely gold, but it's not like pieces of gold. It's more like flour gold, powdered gold. So we're going to try and recover this gold. Going to put it through my rock crusher, turn it into powder, and then pan it out and see what we get. And then we're going to keep all the part that I pan off, dry it and roast it to see if there's any sulfides in there. And then once we've roasted it, be able to pan it again and see if it releases any more gold. Most of them will probably go straight through the crusher as they are, but there's a couple of big ones they're going to need to be broken with the dolly pot. That's got a fracture through there, so that won't take much to break in half. But it's unusual because, from my knowledge, this is ball quartz. Ball quartz is just plain white quartz, and you don't normally find gold in ball quartz. I have seen it in there, but it's very rare. When I went to the Perth Mint, they had a massive big pile of ball quartz with gold all through it, but generally speaking you don't find gold in it. So it can be, it's possible. This one will have to be broken up. So we'll get on to breaking these, and then we'll put some through the crusher and see what we get after we pan it. Oh, look what the rocks have done to the shackles. We've completely split them in half. That's crazy. Both of them. Still works though, because the main bar still does it as well. We're getting a lot of powder out of it. It's going to be really good. Alrighty, so what I've done is I've got the ore and I mixed some water in there to make it all sloppy, so it doesn't just float. And I've got a little bit of dish drops in there so it doesn't have surface tension. Now I'm going to put a small amount in the pan and see if we can pan it out. I'll do that for now. It's pretty not a very good container for panning in. The pan's a bit big. I need a bigger tub, but this will do. I'm keeping everything that gets panned off because I'm going to roast it later to see if there's any sulfides in there. But this is just a quick look to see if we can see anything. All I'm doing is just washing the top surface stuff off. Very, very fine powder. It's done a good job of that. Yeah, so there's a possibility that the powder, the gold, could be such fine powder that it might even be hard to show up on the pan. So if that's the case, I'll use my blue bowl, and that'll sort out the difference between gold and powder for sure. I'm going to find my little clean-up pan. That'll be a lot easier to pan with than this. See the darker stuff coming through? Can you see it? It's not all that dark, but it's darker than the white. Alright, I'll pan it backwards now. It'll be a bit hard to show you on camera. I'll just do it and then show you. I've just put the crushed rock into a pan on a hot plate, and I'm going to cook it. There'll probably be smoke coming off it soon. I've only just put it on there. From what I saw on Jeff Williams' video, he had smoke coming off, and basically just cook it as hot as I can get it for as long as I can. And then it'd be the same as putting a rock in the fire and roasting a rock. I think roasting a rock would be better, but this is, anyway, I can do it now. And once I can get it really hot, I tip it into a bucket of cold water. If there's any sulfides in there, they should fracture, releasing the gold. I wouldn't have thought that it could be done this way, but I saw Jeff Williams do it, and so it must be alright because he knows a lot more than me. So let's give this a shot and see what happens. I've still got about the same quantity again in the bucket. So, but I'll let this go for at least a couple of hours, get it really hot. And from what I was told, the smoke will come off it. And just keep cooking it until the smoke stops. Anything that's organic amongst it should burn off. But I'm happy to leave it going for quite a few hours. I've got a few things to do today. I've got to go out, so I'll just leave it on. It's not going to catch fire. It's not going to explode or anything like that. So I'll come back later and see how it's going. I've actually had this cooking now for 4 hours. I put it in this bigger, deeper pot with a lid on it to keep the heat in. And I've stirred it about 4 times. It's piping hot in there. Can't get it any hotter, and it should well and truly be roasted, unless, you know, they probably put it on a fire. Might be the only other way to do it. I'm going to see if I can hook this up now where you're going to be able to see. So I've got a bucket of cold water here, and I'm going to try and tip that, if it's not going to burn my hands, into the cold water. So I'll see if I can set this up on the table here. Okay, so hopefully it stays there. Take the lid off and tip this straight into cold water. So that's the reaction I wanted. As you can hear it reacting to the cold water. That should fracture any sulfides if they're in there. That was hot. So now got the other half to do. I'll do that tomorrow. Now, since I started this video months ago, this has just been sitting and sitting and sitting. I've been doing research, and I've seen at least 5 different videos on people who are doing the same thing. They've roasted their rocks First of all, they've crushed them like I did, and then roasted them like I did. So far, I'm doing the right thing. And what they've suggested, and I like the idea of, instead of panning it or using a sluice or anything like that, they do gravity separation, which gets rid of anything light, and any sulfides, any gold will be heavy, so it'll be at the bottom. They get rid of all the light material with the gravity separation, and anything that's left over they put in aqua regia, and I really like that idea. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to show the gravity separation. I've shown it many times before. If you want to see how that's done, that's in other videos, and I'll come back when it's ready to put in aqua regia. I've done the gravity separation. All that should be in there now is the heavy coarse material and some of the light material, because I didn't really want to risk losing gold. So as you can see, it's not really in suspension. It settles quite quickly. So there's too much there to put in one beaker, so I'm going to have to spread this over probably 3 beakers, I guess, and do 3 lots. I've divided up the crushed rock into 3 beakers evenly amongst the 3, and I've put distilled water in each of them, and I'm going to do a nitric bath. You could just go straight to aqua regia to see if there's any gold, but there might be silver, there might be copper, I don't know. I've never heard of gold banded ore. I don't know what to expect from gold banded ore. I don't even know if there's going to be much gold in it, or any gold. Even the guy that bought it thinks he might have done his dough, but we're going to see. So first I want to do a nitric bath just in case there's other metals amongst it, and then whether there is or isn't, once I've done that, I'll do aqua regia, and hopefully, for my mate's sake, we get some gold out of this. I know he's pretty anxious about it. He did read the comments, the reviews, and there was a lot of people that were apparently happy with it for their purchases, so that gave him the confidence to try and buy some. Neither of us know anything about gold banded ore, so we're going to find out together. And I don't know about you guys, but you're also here to find out if there's anything worth buying gold banded ore. So let's do a nitric bath. Well, something happening, because you can see that the solution's gone like a reddish colour, and you can barely see some fumes in there. So something is definitely dissolving. And with these ones here, as soon as I put the nitric in before, there was these little trails of white stuff coming up out of the rock. There was about 2 or 3 in this one, and a couple in this one, and I had to swirl it around and swish it around and wash it around with a stir rod, and then it all went away. So I don't know what was dissolving, but yeah, there's clearly something in there. This is all uncharted territory for me. I've never done this before, so we'll find out together if it's any good. Well, I don't know for certain, because as I've already said to you, this is new to me, but I think there's iron in those rocks. If you look at the soil, the rocks here, it's got a reddish tinge to it. Same with this one here. So what's happened is the one that was on the heat had like all this rust. I had turned it off for a while, went to the shops and came back, and it was all settled. And so what I did was I poured it all out, and then the water and nitric that I had in here I poured into the beaker, and you can see it's stripping more redness out of the stones. And look at the stones, it's all bleached. So if you look at that colour and then you look at that colour, there's definitely a difference. Look at the difference. So I reckon that's iron that's being pulled out of the stone, and I don't think washing it in, like boiling it in water alone would have done the trick. I think the nitric helped. So once that's been on heat for a while, I'll tip that into here as well, and then put that lot of water and nitric into here and see what happens. I'll keep doing that until it's clear, and then hopefully all the rust will settle and I'll have some clean dilute nitric that I can pour back into one of these beakers, and I'm sure that's what it is. So I'm glad I got it out, because if there is any gold, and if I had gone straight to aqua regia, this would have contaminated the gold. So this way I should have some nice, if there is any gold in there, it should be nice and pure, because I'm getting rid of whatever's in the stone now, and that was my plan. So far it seems to be working. So what I decided to do, instead of boiling each beaker in nitric, and there may not even be gold in there for all I know, so what I've done is I've finished the first one, and then I've made aqua regia. You can see there is fumes in there. I expect that there would be nothing other than gold in there now, because the nitric should have dissolved everything. There's all the nitric solution, and these ones are the water washers. So I put them back in here ready to go, and then once that settles there should be free nitric solution in that. But in the meantime I thought, why don't I just see if there's any gold before we even go any further, in case I'm wasting my time. I don't want to waste acids as well. And nice surprise, look how yellow it is, and the fumes. It's looking good that there could possibly be some gold. Now, of course I can check it with stannous, but not while it's boiling. I'll wait till tomorrow, because soon I'm going inside for the night. I'll turn it off, and tomorrow start it back up again until there's no fumes left, and then we'll check it and see if it is gold. I can't think of anything else that would be in there. You can tell by the colour of the stone that it's bleached. The nitric has stripped any colour in there. Silver would definitely have been dissolved. Copper, well, it hasn't gone blue or green. It's only the rust of the iron that was in there. That's all I can understand anyway. If there was copper, there should be blue or green. Silver you wouldn't know because it's clear, but that should have definitely been dissolved. And if there is any more silver in there, I can drop that out by putting ice blocks in the aqua regia and make it fall out of solution. But there's a nice reaction, so I'll wait till tomorrow. I'll keep boiling it tomorrow until all those fumes stop. And I guess I could check it by putting just a tiny bit more nitric in there and seeing if the fumes start up again. But couldn't see any gold in there. Everything was so white. I thought maybe I might be able to spot the gold, but if it is in there, it must be micron small. Okay guys, it's the next day. I had it turned off overnight as usual. I'm expecting that if I've just turned it back on, and I'm sure there'll be some fumes building up soon, because they were pretty strong last night. Now I've just done a stannous test. I've even tried making new stannous just in case there's something wrong with the other one, and there's absolutely no gold showing up on the stannous test. I'm out of my depth here. I have no clue what was dissolving in the AR. You saw that there was fumes. You can see the color of the solution. All indicators tell me that it's gold, but the stannous test says it's not. I'm hoping some of you guys out there have more experience in this type of field. So I'm going to leave this here as a part 1 and get some feedback from you guys. What should I do? I don't know whether to continue. Well, I don't know what that is in solution. So can you just give me some feedback and see what you think. Before I leave it there, this started boiling just after I did the last thing on film, and there was fumes in there. So it's got me beat, and I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going in the solution. I don't know if I'm just burning off nitric acid. Someone please help me.